If you
Cool.
guys are jumping in live, let me know. Hashtag live. I'm live from Miami. I'm in Miami till this evening. And I want to go live to show you, to talk to you guys about Tyler's story and how in his very first month of joining GroupConvert Ignite, how well he's doing. And we'll talk about like how he got into this crazy world and everything like that. So I want you to know that Tyler and Greg Jeffries, tylerobannon, they both teach SEO, but we're going to dive into their story in just a little bit. If you guys are here live, let me know where you're tuning in from. And if you are interested in adding an extra 5 to 6 figures a month to your Facebook group, but before we dive into that, Tyler, welcome to my group. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us today. And I'm excited to talk to you about all the things because I know that you got into the program, you hit the ground running.
Yeah.
and now
Oh,
it's
yeah.
our chance to like really catch up. So with that said, Tyler, let's give them a little bit of a background story on you. How did you enter into the world of online,
Yeah.
the online space? Let me know.
Yeah.
Take us back.
Yeah. Absolutely. So I'm me and my business partner, Greg Jeffries. We both grew up together in a small town in rural Mississippi, and we did not grow up around entrepreneurs and especially online entrepreneurs. And especially since we're in our mid 30s, the internet kind of came along during our lifetime. And so we just did, this was such a recent thing for us because growing up, we weren't exposed to it on any level. And we just always, we wanted to do something to make money. We knew that the idea that just graduate high school, go to college, get a degree, get a good job, stick with it, play the long game. We know that that works, but we also knew that we wanted something that wasn't that and worked more quickly than that and had more headroom to scale than that. And so it was a process. It was a journey. It's something we've been chipping away at for over a decade. We really, a little before 2010, were having these early conversations of, did you know that people make money like on the internet? Like, yeah, how do they do that? How do you get on your computer, and what buttons do you press and where do you click to make money? So we tried everything. We tried, and I don't even have to ask. I know if that's you, that's me. Been there, like, absolutely. We tried everything. We tried to learn about everything. We paid for courses. We tried even a couple of programs. This was years ago. No one recent, nothing really going on right now. But back in 2011, 12, 13, we tried, but nothing ever really clicked until we finally found what we're doing now and what we also launched, which I don't want to jump ahead. I just kind of want to get you guys the story we're at. It was a long journey, guys. It wasn't overnight. It wasn't 60 days. It wasn't 6 months. It wasn't 12 months. It was a kind of a long journey that seemed to go in a few circles for a while. But then we found the thing and we did the thing.
So awesome, Tyler. So it was a long journey of figuring out what buttons to click, how do you really make money online.
Yeah.
And I remember talking to Greg, your partner, about his journey, and he's like, yeah, it was very slow. It was a very slow journey for me because he told me he just doesn't run at that pace. He just goes at a comfortable pace. So you guys can relate to that. Like, it's been a long time coming. You had to peel away a lot of layers. Hashtag relate in the comments. And hey, Randy, how are you? So if you guys are here and jumping in to watch the live, then let me know. Smash the heart button. I want the rest of this group to know that we are doing this interview today, and make sure that you do ask questions, because when I talked to Greg about GroupConvert Ignite, about what we do, he was kind of thinking about it, and I think he expressed to me that you guys were kind of planning on maybe launching, maybe doing something, and then I felt like in an aggressive way. I was like, Greg, get into my program. I know I can help you.
True story. True story.
So I want to kind of ask you, like, what was that conversation like between you and Greg before you joined GroupConvert Ignite? Like, what were the like, hey, can I really do this? Can I really make an extra? Because now it's like you have the potential and you currently make more in a month than a lot of people make in a whole year. A lot of people don't get to make this, and it sounds bizarre when we have the headline that you joined us for a month and then you're doing this. But tell me, was there any blockages? Was there anything like, I don't know if that's possible, or anything like that? The conversation between you and Greg?
Man, when you start with just the mindset, I mean, everything's going to be driven ultimately in your success in your business. It starts in here and in here every time. Every single time, every single thing, even when you succeed at one thing and you move to the next thing, it always starts here. And just part of that journey, guys, over the past 10 or 12 years was a journey up here as much as it was any strategy that will work and build that kind of income, build where a week is what used to be a month, and when a month is what used to be a year. And but specifically relating to Kim's program, we knew that we needed to do something. We already have coached people one-on-one, and we've got a course that has been around for 3 to 4 years, and it's exactly what we do. But we knew we needed to deploy that on a larger scale to a larger group of people, and we didn't know how to do that. And that's where the conversation with Kim came in. And so we had actually, Kim, I don't exactly know how you initially connected with Greg about it, but we had been talking about we needed to do that. We just didn't know how. We didn't have a blueprint for that. And the timing was just perfect because GroupConvert Ignite was the blueprint and the how to do exactly what we wanted to do. And so I'm so glad we took the step. It felt like 4 or 5 fire hydrants all at once for a couple of weeks there. But you know what? There's always something good on the other side of everything hard, you know?
Yeah. So you've been thinking about it and you just don't have the blueprint. So what were you doing before? Tell me what hasn't worked before that made you go, okay, we got to try this out. Yep. Because how was your year like before in terms of monetizing your course? How much was your course before? How many sales were you making before you got into Ignite? Like, what I saw Greg literally do posts, and I saw him have his link below each post, and I'm like, is that really working? So let me know, like, what happened before, and then,
it's always been a trickle compared to the launch that we just experienced. It's always been a few people a month, and so for me, what we teach is what I've been doing for full time for about over 3 years, 3.5 years, and Greg for about 4 to 4.5. So it's works. That alone is like what we could do full time and still have a great life. But then we genuinely want to share that with people, and it genuinely works for people. But yeah, so we the course has been around for 3 to 4 years, and it's been available 24/7. It's not been anything through a launch like GroupConvert Ignite. It's just been available, and just organically, just affiliates, people in the course saying, hey, I referred a couple of people this month. And between that and just organic posting, you know, you guys are all marketers in this group. You when you see just people post screenshots of like payouts or new income streams, or, hey, I built this in the last like 90 days. I built this new income stream, or, hey, I'm traveling and working on a beach today because I make more passive income than I do active income. And I started coaching in 2020 this year. January, I launched one-on-one coaching, and I did several of those this year. But again, nothing like this big launch that we did. So we can live off of what we teach, and then we teach it and we see a few students a month come into the course, and a couple of students come in every 30 or 60 days interested in one-on-one coaching. So that's where we're at before the launch this past week.
Yeah, and
Answer that good.
I want specific numbers though. I want, let's say your course is X amount. Like what was the trajectory of your year if you didn't join Ignite? What does that look like? And now what does it look like after you join Ignite? What are the differences?
The course is $1997, so that's $1,997. And a few people some months and just a couple of people other months, which is, it's fine. That's fine. That's $2,000, $4,000, $6,000, $8,000, $10,000 in a month off of course sales. That's fine. My one-on-one coaching was throughout the past year, which I started in January of this year. I've coached 6, 7, 8 people, and a couple of people have bought a second package in addition to the first package. So I sold several packages of that at anywhere from $2,000 to $5,000 a pop. And that was in an all new income in addition to the income that I was generating from the income streams doing what we teach, which is a more than 6-figure full-time income in and of itself. So again, nothing huge. I've not coached dozens and dozens of people and coaching all day long. I've coached this year a handful of students, and some of them have renewed 1, 2, 3 times to keep it going through the year, and have so that should give you an idea of where the course is at and where my coaching was at.
Okay, so on low months, 2,000 probably. On high months, 10,000, and on a month-to-month basis, it would be like you have to really do one-on-one, which is a lot of your time
consuming,
or sometimes someone would buy a course from you, which delivers amazing results, which gotten all that, but it seemed like you should be able to reach more people by now, right? Like in 3, that it should be, instead of like one and a few here and there, given your amazing results, it should be this flood of like, oh my God, I can do this, and I can pay off my house and all that stuff. And you weren't seeing that very clearly,
for sure.
Right?
No, and I didn't know how. I didn't know how. I didn't know from A, where I was, to B, that. I didn't know what the line between them looked like. I didn't know how that worked.
Yeah. And what were your plans? Was it to keep that, let's say that you didn't decide on getting into Ignite and your past year is going to be your next year.
Right.
Would it be like thinking about, oh, maybe we should do this, maybe we should do that? Sure. Like kind of like, now we have a plan and we're going to try this thing, and then the next month it's like, oh, that didn't work out, let's try something else.
It would have been that, and just more of what we know. Well, if we help people and they tell their friends, one successful student after a few months of getting traction may tell 2 other people, and so maybe this year I'll coach twice as many people as last year, which is awesome. And then maybe if we do a couple of tweaks in the course and that really helped, maybe we're affiliate marketers, right? So maybe affiliates can go and do enough at scale that will bring increase, but still no really idea of just how to leap to much larger influx of students, and which now we know with GroupConvert, right, through a proper launch blueprint. So yes.
And when I put you through, like, let's say our system, and I had a call with you and everything, how long did it take for you to realize that you can make it big, that you can turn this around? And instead of like, maybe I'll do this, maybe that I'll do that, it's like, freaking let's go. Like, how long did it take for you to recognize that when you got into the program?
By the time we talked, I was in let's go mode. Up to us talking, I was, this seems like a lot mode. And it is, but it isn't, because a blueprint is just that. It doesn't matter how many pieces there are. A blueprint says, here's step 1, here's step 20, here's the steps in between. Just do it. And so we talked, And the next week was tough because you know just the presentations every day alone is a lot to put together. And you even asked me like, are you a procrastinator or get things done? And you were like, I just put together like 200 and something slides like the day before, and that's just what I did. But it worked. But it was just, here's the list. And when you have that, you can start checking things off. And no matter how long or how short it takes, you can get there. And that's what really got me to the place of I can do this, was just, okay, it's all laid out now. It's all laid out, and we're going to launch at X date, and we're just going to work backwards to today. And hey, I got to go through a lot of stuff, and I got to get a lot of things together, but but this is it. Now I know now that I know what's got to be done, I just got to do it. And I think for me, it was pretty quick. I got right to work after our call. I really did. I dove in head first, both feet, both hands, the hokey pokey. I put my whole self in there and just went for it.
Yeah, and I love that like the reason why I was pretty aggressive with Greg. So Greg reconnected with me. By the way, you guys, this is how people enter into my world sometimes. It would be just a Zoom call. Greg was like, hey, let's catch up on Zoom. And because I felt so isolated with COVID, I'm like, yeah, cool, let's do that. And we were like just catching up. And he's like, what are you doing? I'm like, this is what I'm doing. And then I'm like, what are you doing? And then I saw the things that you guys have and how many people you've helped. So my question was like, what is going on? How come you're not doing crazy well with your course? You guys are doing well with SEO and everything, but how come you're not helping more people?
Yep.
And then I realized that you were going through the motions. You were saying, okay, well, maybe we'll make our module better. And if we help one more person, they will go and talk to someone else. And that to me felt like, oh my gosh, you're leaving this multiple 7-figure business just sitting there, like just sitting there. And that's when I'm like, Greg, come into my program.
Like, y'all, this is 100% true. This is exactly how it happened. No gimmicks. She was like, you need what I'm teaching because you've got something that you can launch, and like, you need to do it, and you need to do it now. Today. You need to get started.
And just for those of you who are listening, hey, Michael is in Ignite too. Woot! And Michael is in launch. Yeah.
Yes.
Just so you guys know, like, in this world, I see your success so clearly that's why I'm so aggressive. I'm like, come on in, because I see it so clearly for you. And all you need when you come in is literally like one conversation, one checklist, and you are off to the races. It wasn't you watching like a million modules. It wasn't you like waiting around like a bunch of information. That's not how I want to have you have results, right?
Right.
So tell me, for those who are skeptical about like, hey, I can make, okay, this might sound weird when I say it out loud, but hey, I can make an extra 5 to 6 figures a month on something as one call and one checklist.
That's right.
And I'm off. Right.
It's true. And I loved that the most important thing was, instead of learning every single piece of the puzzle and feeling like you have to be 100% expert before you ever take a step, it was just, Kim was like, you're in my program and you need to do a launch within the month. It was like, you don't need it. This isn't a let's plan for a launch in mid 2021 and spend the next 9 months crossing every T, dotting every I, and making every single graphic and every single slide perfect. No. You need to grasp what you can, get something together, and launch your product. And I think our launch was just about the 4th or 5th week from the time we talked. And that was even because I just said, I need a little time. I just got to get some things together. But that was the most important thing. And it was just come in and do a launch. Your focus is not learn a bunch of things. Your focus is do a launch, and let's just lay out what you need to learn in the next couple of weeks to do a launch, period. Yeah. You're going to do it. You're not going to learn it. You're going to do it.
You're just freaking gonna do it. But it sounds that simple, but let's say you didn't join Ignite. Like how would you feel like your year will be if you didn't commit to us and you're like, maybe that sounds like hocus pocus, I'll do something else.
For sure.
How would you feel?
We would still just be like, man, we've got this. It works for us. And even in Greg's course, we talk to a lot of people with that sell courses. And a lot of times they're like, only a couple percent of people really ever jump in and just do it and succeed. But our course, somewhere between 20 and 40% of students over the last 3 years have made not just their first dollar online, but their first $1,000 online. And many of that percentage of people have moved on to make, at the very least, a couple thousand a month in extra income. If they're not wanting to quit their career, they just want the extra passive income. And so to answer your question, we would still be scratching our heads. We would still be like, how do we get in front of a lot more people and put something together that we can deliver at a larger scale and do this thing? We just wouldn't know. Next year would be better than this year has been, but not multiple times better. Just, hey, we know how to make money, and maybe we would have one affiliate refer a couple more people, right? But it wouldn't be this.
Yeah, instead of leaving it up to the maybes, to the okay, yeah, I'll try this, I'll try that. How did it make you feel after you got in that I told you exactly what to do, how to do it, when to do it, and then you're gonna freaking go and do it? How did that make you feel as you are experiencing my coaching? And let me know if there's a difference between my coaching and the other programs and stuff that you bought in the past.
Yeah, for sure. Well, this is the thing, and I'll just repeat it because this was the successful thing. The fact that our very first call wasn't an orientation. It was a, when are we launching? I mean, that was huge because you could put it off. You could say, well, it's November. How about just a strong start to 2021? How about January? Or maybe you need a couple months to really. The very first call with Kim was, hey, how you doing? When are we launching? Like, well, I'm not sure. Okay, well, open your calendar. I kind of told her, well, I'm not quite sure when we want to do our first launch yet. Okay, we'll pull up your calendar. Okay, Kim, I'm pulling up my calendar. All right, what's looking good? 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Definitely, you guys definitely need to launch before the year's up, and it's almost the end of November. So, like, let's definitely pick something in December. Okay, Kim, I mean, just getting right down to it. Again, that most programs that I've ever been in before, it's mostly here's the information, and eventually, like, you've just got to, you being the individual, just have to do it. It's up to you to actually sit down and do it. But with Kim, she really pushed us right to the doing. And I think that's crucial with anything. I mean, guys, wherever you're at in your marketing journey, ultimately what's going to make it happen is just doing it. Do it. Find something that's working and there's proof for that, and do it. And that's what Kim pushed us right into doing. It was, we're going to launch. We're not even going to use December as an excuse to wait till 2021, right? New year, whatever. Like, it's November and you need to do a launch in December. Pick a date. We were looking at the calendar, and then I'm like, well, what launch on a Monday? So what Mondays in December are going to work? Well, let's go not too close to Christmas, but anyway, we ended up with just, okay, we're launching, a couple weeks before Christmas gets here, and that's what we're doing.
Oh, yeah. And Sean asked a really good question, and I have also another question for those of you who feel like, what if, one of our Ignite clients, Carlene, she launched from absolutely nothing. Wow, Facebook group, no audience. She didn't teach like you for years, and she still made more in 1 month than she did in the past year. Do you feel that in your bones that even if you're super brand new, you can still launch, pull your shit together because you're already an expert, and still crush it? Do you feel like that's also confident if someone's not you, if someone hasn't been teaching online for years?
Oh yeah. The secret is doing. is doing.
Can you launch into an empty Facebook group? Can you launch into an empty,
for sure,
empty Facebook group and you fill it up?
Exactly. I'm a firm believer in if you do nothing, you'll get nothing, and if you do something, you'll get something. And so even if you're even the people in this group who are brand new, this journey, you're at the very, very start line. I absolutely 100% believe a blueprint is just that. It's a blueprint. It's if you do all the steps, the thing will be built that this blueprint shows. And I firmly believe that even a complete beginner, and Charlene's story, or is it Carlene or Charlene? I'm sorry.
Carlene.
Yeah, I watched some of the stuff about her. I think you did an interview with her. She was in something amazing, and that should just absolutely give anyone today tuning into this now or in the replay the confidence that even if you're a complete beginner, you've got something to share with the world, and there's a blueprint that will help you do that, and it can be far more quick than you could imagine. It could be Kim saying, hey, next month you're picking a Monday to launch and you're doing this thing. That's simple.
Yeah, exactly. And Sean asked this question, and let me know your response. I didn't even care how much your thing was. I think your thing was around 500 when I first heard about it, and then 1997 was, I think, a recent change.
Yeah, pretty recent.
But what was my saying to you? Like, you gotta freaking charge this much. Yep. And yep. How did that make you feel, and how easy or hard it was for you to step into that price point? And let me know your price point right now.
You know,
before you joined Ignite, what was your price point? And then after joining Ignite?
Before I joined Ignite, the course had gone up to $19.97, but that was this year at some point. I don't remember if it was just summertime or whatever. And even in my one-on-one, you know, I'd offer a few sessions for. I started out around $2,000 and went up to about $4,000 for, you know, 6, 8, 10 sessions, just depending on the individual, where they were at, what we were doing, and how I could help them get going. Right. But, you know, with the program like this, the group coaching allows us to offer a longer time, but at the same time, it's still a lot of time. And when you sit down and evaluate just that time input and what it's worth, you know, and it's simple math just spits out like this hitting a couple $1,000s. This is coming in even for just our existing students at 5K, and it's going to quickly climb to more than that because we're going to deliver like crazy, and that's worth something, and that's our time involved as well. So yeah, I wasn't so resistant to it as maybe someone new would be because it was already clawing at it. Kim was just the jet fuel, the blueprint to just, this is what you need to do. But still, it's a big step to really step into new territory, to a higher price, to a new program that delivers differently than anything you've done in the past. So yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, your program is $2,000. We're gonna make it $5,000. And sure. What? And you know, everything I told you to do, you did a percentage of everything, and you still did really, really well. You didn't dot all your I's, cross all your T's.
Definitely not.
Really well. And what's hilarious was that I watched their day one, and I hear this phrase. Tyler was saying, "We are so unspecial. We are so common, and we can do."
I kind of built everyone up with our story. We're two guys from Mississippi. We blah blah blah. I say all that to say this: we are not special. Like, we're just two guys, just two people.
Yeah. Do you feel like if someone has those money, like, you know, more money trauma, more closer to it than you, would they be able to step into a role where they're charging $5,000, $10,000 for what they know right away without having that gradual buildup? Do you think that that's possible?
I think that that's possible. Yes. I mean, if you're new and you're looking at GroupConvert Ignite and you've got this idea that you want to, you've got a program and you want to put it out there for the world. I mean, I think that school and the corporate world teach us that you have to start at the bottom and you have to climb to the top. But in this world, when you've got something to offer that's going to help people, it's worth that much, regardless of if it's your first product or your 100th. Period.
Yeah.
And maybe some of you need to hear that. Maybe some of you need to hear that you have value to bring, and it is worth that much. And you don't have to start at the bottom. This isn't a corporate thing where you start down in the mailroom and you move up. This is just, if you're launching what you've got inside of you to give to people, and it's going to help people, you can leapfrog right up to those prices, and you don't have to be scared or nervous about that. I mean, I believe that with everything in here. I believe that 100%. I believe that here, and you can believe that too, 100%.
Awesome, Tyler. I love it. When you got into Ignite, your energy level was kind of like, you were kind of cautious. You were kind of like, okay, let's see what's going on. And to see the transformation of your energy from like, well, let's check this out. I mean, you know, Greg invested in this and I'm helping him out. So give me that mental transformation through the weeks that you were in Ignite into your launch. Like, I want to hear how it changed your energy level and your outlook on the next year for your program.
Totally. I mean, anything new is new, right? It's new. Anytime you step into a new place, you're kind of at the starting line. You're just there. Even if you've got experience in other areas, a new thing is a new thing. And that's where we were. And though I had talked with Greg, and then Greg had this call with Kim, and even after Greg invested and pulled the trigger and we were going for it, it was still just like, man, this is, with anything, not only did it feel, and you said earlier that I haven't even been through every single piece yet. We just put a launch together and did it and let it do its thing. And that being said, I knew I was just at that point of, I know this is going to be a lot. I know this is going to be a lot to put together. I know I can do it, but I know this is going to be a lot. But that stands in contrast to just the version 1 very first launch blew my mind. And here I am after it, just like still kind of blown away at how amazing it went. And yeah, I'm sure my tone is different because like we did this launch and it was incredible. And we had so much fun giving all the value for the 5 days during the launch, and as well as knowing that we're going to be delivering on this program and helping people do what we do. But man, from just, wow, there's a lot of things to like, it was awesome and we're doing it again. Like, yes.
I love that. I feel like all of us, we have such a gift to give to the world because we've been through decades of living, and we are each experts at what we know and what we do.
That's right.
And it's only and there is such a big struggle online to get to more people, to be louder, to be able to really like be courageously proud of what you're doing. And although I hear that you are so proud of the results you're getting, at the same time there was this fatigue in the way that you sounded. There was this, oh, I'm gonna try another thing, and then now it's transformed from like, oh, I don't know, we'll just try this out, to like, heck yeah, we're gonna do this again.
We are doing some launches. We are doing this thing. We're doing this, and I was all in on like let's do it. But I was all in of just like, oh my gosh, this is a lot. I think this will work, but this is a lot. To now all in of like, we're just, here we are, one launch under our belt, and it exceeded all of our expectations. And that was still small compared to like what we're going to do, many, many times next year. So yeah. Awesome. Can I say one thing before we move?
Say whatever you want.
On from this, I heard going through a little. There's a few YouTube videos and things out there that I just watch once a year or once a month, and I watched this one this morning. An expert is someone who's been doing something for 10,000 hours. That's how I forget the guy that defined that way. You have been you for way more than 10,000 hours. You are an expert at your experience. You're an expert at it. The things inside of you, you're already an expert at it. That's what kind of comes back to, like, you're not starting down here. You being you're up here. You're already there. You're an expert. You're way overqualified at being an expert at you. And what you have to share with people is here, not here. And I just want to, again, encourage people with that. That, man, I'm getting goosebumps. That just hits me.
Yeah, I love what this the transformation that I see you go through, because I even remember like our very first call, I asked you for a testimonial for the call, and you were like, okay, Kim,
Thanks,
help
Kim.
me out, blah blah blah, and your energy level was like, okay, yeah, let's do this. And then now afterwards, which is several weeks after, you're like, yeah, anyone can do it. You can do it. And you, I just love it.
Yes. It's amazing. You know, when something works, it's just, and it does. It did. It will. It's going to a lot more. This is just the beginning.
Yeah, and tell me, like, how many weeks is it for you to completely transform everything? Like, do you think that if someone had the objection of, like, I don't have time, do you believe that someone with a full-time job can still pull this off if they were to follow my blueprint, if they were to spend time after work chipping away at it? Do you believe that they will have the time to be able to do this themselves?
I'm going to answer that question on two levels. In general, I believe people will always find the time, the money, the resources, and anything else that they need to do something that they truly want to do in here. When it's in here, you will do it. But then specifically with GroupConvert Ignite, absolutely yes. I mean, your program is designed to help people succeed. And I mean, if you just look at Carlene from nothing, no existing offer, no existing audience, no existing group, no existing, and then us as well. I mean, we're living proof of it. And so absolutely yes. I mean, without a doubt, yes. Not just yes, but only yes, and 0% no.
0% no. So
yes.
would you like feel at ease for saying that to someone if, let's say that, and this is something that I say that sounds kind of like kind of edgy a little bit, but I say I would take your last dollar if you were to come on in. I know how to help you transform your entire life. Yep. Do you feel like I'm disingenuous when I say that? Like, I would take your last dollar?
No, it's very authentic. Very authentic. Absolutely. I mean, guys, if it was your last dollar, it's going into something that can quickly change your life. And that's it. I mean, there's just nothing else to say but that. 100% yes, 0% no. It's absolutely. And I mean, it only was 4 to 5 weeks for us, and that just right there should be enough to say, like, you can do it. And I don't know what else to say. Yes.
So now next month, are you going to be, do you feel like you'll be put through the same kind of scramble, the same like last minute?
I do. I know the couple of weeks coming up to it. It's just, you know, there's so many little things you'll think about, and gosh, I want to say this and I want to rework this, and I like, even though I've already put a lot of work into this, I need to move this here and move that there, and I also need to go through a few more things in the course that might give me a little bit better edge, blah, blah, blah. But still, I know it's going to be awesome, and I know it's going to exceed our expectations again, and then that's just number 2, and that's just launch number 2, right? I mean, absolutely.
Yeah, and one of the things I want to ask is when you realize that this is possible, what is the limit of your like vision for your course, for your movement before you join Ignite? What was it before per month? Like, oh, I'm going to do 10,000 per month, like as 20,000 per month. And that's the very edge of your vision, like the very ceiling of it. Versus now, what is that ceiling for you?
Yeah, well, Based on a recent launch that we did, I think 66K is a doable number because that's what we did. But no, for before now, I'm very blessed, very grateful, very thankful to have an above 5-figure a month income now for quite some time, and it's years preceded that to get to that place. But now, this is new territory. What we do works for us and makes us that much, but launches like this are going to be adding multiple 5 figures to Greg and I a month each, and that's kind of the new normal now. It's once you do it, you're like, well, okay, like that's what it's got to be. But
yeah,
I would say absolutely.
What's your vision? And before you go into that, I want to highlight this comment because Michael is in Ignite and he's like, yep, I feel you there. You have a right to stand in that type of confidence. I'm beginning to see it as I put myself through this experience with you all here inside of Ignite. I had a call with Michael and he was like, I love you, Kim. I love what you're doing. So I just adore like Michael's energy. He's just all about it, and so well.
That's awesome.
So, what is that ceiling? I'm going to say it. I'm going to ask it again. So, on a good month, let's say before you join Ignite, you're like 10,000, 20,000 in your. I'm not talking about all your income. I'm talking about teaching and coaching. Of course, you make more, and the fact that you're super excited about this when you're making that amount already tells me something different. Tells me that, holy shit, it's not just about the number. It's about where you're heading, right? Like,
let's be real. I want to have my first 6-figure month this year in 2021. I want to have a month where I make $100,000 or more in that 1 month time. And any goal is just reverse engineering. What does it take? Well, if a product costs X, you can do the math to figure out Y, which is how many people it takes to get there. I mean, it's a whole different world than corporate stuff and kind of what we're taught. It becomes goals, not dreams. It's just, what does it take to make $100,000 in a month? It takes launching a product like this and selling it to X many people. And that's it. And that's a huge goal for me this year, a 6-figure month.
Yeah. And so your reality before, with like no real structure or just let's try stuff out, was like 10K, 20K. And then now you're on almost 7-figure run rate, almost to go from that to almost a 7-figure run rate.
Yeah.
In the span of how many weeks?
Right. Just since sometime in late November. I mean, nothing, or since November. We're just literally here in the 1 month after starting Ignite, and we're already having conversations about multi-5-figure launches, which will no doubt become 6 and multi-6-figure launches.
Yeah, and even if you did the exact same thing next month, and you were too lazy. Let's say you're too lazy to tweak the thing to add anything else. You did the exact same thing next month. Would you still be happy? Would you still be satisfied?
Of course. I'm good. It's enough. It's more than enough. I have bigger goals, sure, but it's, oh my gosh, it's absolutely an abundantly above necessity lifestyle already. It
is. I had a comment, and Michael, thank you so much for showing up. I adore Michael.
Yay, Michael.
So well, he helped so many people go live and get rid of their fear about going live. So Michael is the expert in that world. Awesome. So what I do want to ask you, let's tap into more. I want to talk to more about the fears. Like, if you have no time, if you have no, like, what do you think will hold people back in terms of doing this? And then what do you think that, let me see, how can I phrase that in a way that makes sense? Is there any excuse not to do this if you want to make an extra 5 to 6 figures per month into your group? And what was your fear, you yourself specifically, and be honest with me about that, because you're already doing well, you know, financially. Why would you want to add this thing? You know, you're already doing really well. Why would you want to do another thing? So that's, I think that be something that comes up to people's mind. Like, I don't want to add another thing to my plate.
Yep. No, I totally get it. I totally get it. You know, one huge thing to just this is the why that's even in here before even it shapes this. And you know, there's a lot that I want to do just to help people on this beautiful planet that we all share together. And you know, there's so much need out there. I mean, I have really, really big goals that get into why do I want to build wealth and build something that's far more than sufficient for rent or mortgage, bills, groceries, vacations, you know, family, kids, that kind of thing. But that's a huge thing in my why. But you know, it really just, it took me a long time to get to 5 figures a month, and that was a years long journey, because stuff's got to change in here to get that. Like we really are up against ourselves in so many areas where it's just us versus us. And I don't know that many of us feel like we deserve that or are worthy of that when we're getting started sometimes. You know, we've always been here, and we first just have to value ourselves and realize that we deserve this, and then we deserve the next thing. And then, so gosh, so many thoughts are in my mind right now. I mean, the reason that I want to go from 5 figures a month to having a 6-figure month is because ultimately there's so much I want to do to help a lot of people very directly, you know, feeding people and building wells. There's still places on this planet where people have to go a long way every day to get clean water. And I've already got some ideas and some connections of people to plug into being able to dig wells that will give lots of people water every day indefinitely. And it's just, there's so much that I want to do there. But Kim, I'm trying to answer your question, and I'm trying not to go down a rabbit hole here. But that question starts to really tap into so much of the why that I've had to tap into myself and shape and develop, and then break through fear barriers of doing the things that then produce that. And then almost accepting that, like, it's okay. It's a good thing to be here. And to actually set a goal of like from 5 figures a month to cracking a 6-figure month. You know what I'm saying? So please ask me more specific questions so I can
okay.
run my mouth here.
More specific question. Let's see. I wrote down some notes that I want to ask you. I feel like I asked you a lot of these questions already. I'm trying to think about, because when someone's watching this, and especially you guys who are watching right now, let me know what questions you have. I'm just thinking about that, you know, the person that has tried so many things, and this is just like another thing that they're doing. They've invested in coaching before, and they're like super skeptical. They need to do research. They need to like ask around and do all those things.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to
I'm that person.
I'm
that person. This is the thing that's changed my life the last 4 years. But for 12, 13, 14 years, I am that person.
Yeah.
So totally, you're not alone, guys. We all been there.
Yeah. So it's great. So I kind of want to like bring us back to some of your answers. So it's great that with one conversation, one checklist, you're ready to go. It's great that you don't need to wade through a million modules in order to do this. It's great that you can do this imperfectly with lots of missing pieces, and you still do very well.
Yep.
And it's great that even if you're super brand new, you can bring your expertise, because you're already such an expert of what you know to an empty Facebook group. Did you have to grow your group to thousands and thousands in order to do this?
Not at all.
Like, how many people registered for your thing in terms of like the actual numbers?
We just went live in our Facebook group with people that have either bought the course or coaching or something from us before. And that's only 300 and something people maybe. And so it's nothing tremendous, guys. We're not people with tens of thousands of people following us and just We don't do Instagram and Facebook stories all the time. And, this was just in such a small pond, and it shows you what's possible,
Yeah. And how many out of the billions that are online, right? And out of the millions that you can serve, how many do you really need to serve to hit a 5 to 6 figure month?
Right.
Tell me your number. How many do you need to reach?
Right now, 20 people in a month would be a 6-figure month, and the price is going to go up. This really truly is kind of the introductory price, because we launched it to people who've already bought from us. They've already bought the main course. They've already bought one-on-one coaching, and then some people have been around these successful people but haven't succeeded yet. And so with this program helped them. So really, it's 10 people a month. Pretty soon is going to be a 6-figure month. If I help 10 people a month, I'll have a 6-figure month. It's really that simple. That's 10K times 10.
10 people in the entire world a month on a small, teeny Facebook group of 300 people. So you don't need thousands.
That's right.
You don't need to go live all the time every day. You're not that type of person at all, right? Nope. You don't need to be super charismatic or special. Right?
Yep. Exactly. I'm not special. The cat's out of the bag. I've already announced that publicly. Newsflash, I am not special.
You don't need to, be smooth. You can be awkward sometimes. You can be yourself. Doesn't that?
I believe if you're your true self, the people that can relate to you will come out of the woodworks. Hey, they love seeing someone else on camera who's like them and not perfectly polished and Mr. I have it all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I truly believe that.
And so before, I think you were doing one-on-one calls, and that's what bring in like the 5,000, the bigger ticket level. Now the higher ticket level, now do you feel like you need to do a bunch of one-on-one calls and kind of like really exhaust your, do you feel like if you're a one-on-one coach, let's say, and you are tapped out at your limit because you can only take so many people in,
that's right.
Now how has that landscape changed for you? And do you need to take on all those one-on-one calls in order to do this now?
Exactly.
To deliver your thing now in a bigger way.
The thing about one-on-one is we all have the same 24 hours in a day. We don't have 30, we don't have 50, we have 24. That's it. There's a limit. The only way you can scale one-on-one is raise your prices. This group coaching is what's great for us is that our program, everybody's got the same questions. So we can deliver at a larger scale, which is good for everybody. It reduces the overall amount of time that we've got to put in, yet we can help the same amount of people. We can still get all questions answered because most people all have the same questions. And so for us, and particularly in our industry niche and what our offer is, the group coaching is a home run on both fronts. It's not a reduction in what anyone gets on the other side, but yet it is a reduction in the overall amount of time that we have to put in. So it meets the perfect formula of something that can be scaled, and that's a win.
All right. Well, I don't know what other questions I have to say. And the people, Tyler says, just realized one of my reps can be a coach in my program. Oh, that's another thing. Do you feel like you have, in the future, this is the reason why I have Ignite as well. We are teaching you to build out a self-led team where it's not you all the time, all the way. It is you being able to leverage the successful students in your program to go and help you out as well. So do you see, what's that vision that you have for yourself as you're scaling? Because obviously you can't do everything, right? And how easy it is for you, do you feel, how easy it is for you to be able to scale now versus before?
Yes. Oh, for sure easier, because number one, when you reduce the one-on-one into group and you have that extra time, as people succeed and really understand our process, we can let them do some of the group coaching because they can legitimately answer questions. And then Greg and I can always pop on the next day and just say, hey, here were a couple of things that we wanted to clear up too, but it just, the only way to go from 5 figures to 6 figures and 6 figures to multiple 6 to 7, you just have to, you can't be the only driver. You can't always have your hands on the wheel and your feet on the gas. You have to teach other people to drive too, period. That's the only way. There's only so much one person can do because we all have the same 24 hours in a day and the same energy. We have to sleep and eat at some point, and so building a team is going to be something that's going to be rock our way. It'd probably be the difference in 6 and multiple 6. It's just that now we've got people. It's not just even me and Greg anymore. It's people who can also put their hands on the wheel, which means we can scale bigger and help more people because we've got more people. And so it's amazing, and that's something that I can't wait to experience. That's going to be new, but I know it's going to be amazing.
Yeah, I think our next workshop, one of the next things we're teaching is how do you have your own 30K to 100K program. And so we're going to stretch you even more. Tyler, one of the things I want to ask, one of the very last questions before we tell everyone where to go follow you, how to find you, everything like that, is for the investment that you've made into Ignite. You have us for a whole year for the investment. What is the X return that you have on the investment for the people who are calculating, they're like, I got to get my ROI. Wow. What do you think is the return on investment for what you've invested?
Well, for what we've invested, is it okay to say what we've invested, or should I just talk about ROI?
ROI, I would say ROI.
Okay, ROI, yeah. So what we're
now is 8,000, and they joined right before that. So
I mean, if you look at the numbers we did in December, if that was just exactly January through December of next year, that would be 700 to 800K. That's close to $1 million. And if we increase, 100K is 1.2 million a year. We're looking at that kind of ROI on our investment in GroupConvert Ignite. that's hundreds or a couple thousand X our investment or something. That's a lot. That's huge. I can't do the math, but let's just say we hit $1 million next year. All of our launches with $1 million in launches. You could down to our investment. That's hundreds of X ROI. It's a no-brainer. If it was an investment portfolio, it would be like if you put $1 in this mutual fund, you will make like $900 back for every dollar that you're putting in. Who would not invest in that?
So if you were to rewind back time and you're telling your old self right before, let's say that your old self is really hesitant to get into Ignite, and you were to tell your old self, would it be fair if I was on the call and I'm like, give me, I think it was for Greg, 7,500, give me 7,500, and I will be able to explode you to a possible multi-million-dollar business, and you will be making realistically an extra 5 to 6 figures per month, not per year, per month for your next 12 months.
I call that a no-brainer. I'm just being real. No offense to anybody or anything, but to me it's just like, yes, do that.
Give me 7,500, I'll give you, I'll unlock that in you.
Yes, absolutely. And that's, guys, this is just real numbers. We're not talking about dreams and desires here. We're talking about math. We're talking about real numbers.
Yeah. And even if you got two people in at 5,000, that's still $10,000 that month.
Right.
Most people strive to make in 1 month.
Right? You're replacing your job, guys. If you're like me and the corporate world was just never a place you succeed, you not only are you replacing your job, you're doing better than you could be doing at a job right there. I'll pull in 5 or 10K every month. That's great. That's great for most every person.
And one more thing. Do you think that you have to work 40 hours a week, 5 days a week in order to achieve this?
No, and especially so it's totally different than trading your time for money. You may put in more than that to get the first launch under your belt and tweak the second, but by the fourth and fifth and sixth and seventh and eighth, for 1 week, you're going live. You're now doing the same thing over and over. In a sense, it's rehearsed. It's not really rehearsed, but you've done it. You've got experience. So then all of a sudden, the time, let me get on my camera here. The time kind of starts here and goes down. You don't have to keep putting the same effort and the same time in for a larger run. You actually end up putting in less effort, less time, but you might actually refine and get a larger return, which is that's the beautiful territory you want to be in. Right now that I've got a system, it's less work and it's more money.
Yeah. And I'm really excited for you, Tyler, because you're just scratching the surface. This is your very first launch, and you're just scratching the surface of all of this. So with that said, that's it, you guys. Where can they find you, Tyler, if they were to go and stalk you? And what is your program? And it's a brand new program that they launched as well. It's not a similar program that they have. What is your program called, the one that you have? And then where can they find you online?
Yes. So our program right now, the cart is currently closed. So the course that we've had for several years is SEO, that's search engine optimization, SEO affiliate, as in affiliate marketing domination. That's the course. So you can find the sales page of the course, but our new program is SEO affiliate domination elite. And the URL for that is SEOaffiliatedomination.com/SEOAD elite. And I know that's a mouthful, but if you can just watch the replay of this and just skip to this part and write that down. SEOaffiliatedomination.com/SEOAD elite. And that will get you to where you can book a Calendly call with me. Use Calendly to book a Zoom call with me, and we can talk about you joining the program. So I hope that, Kim, I'm going to pop over back to you. I've got something, but that's where you can find us. I don't have a simpler way to do that. Maybe we can drop something later.
Don't worry about it. Go find. I'm going to tag Tyler in Messenger in this interview. So just message him, and he'll tell you where to go. We'll also include.
I'll take care of you.
Here.
That's
perfect. I'll take care of you. Don't worry about it. They've been teaching for many years. I just turned on. Did you feel like I turned your pot of gold group into a golden goose group?
For sure. Yeah. That's it. And we just didn't quite know how to get there. And we're more technical and just like build sites and do stuff. So the launch to people thing, we just needed that. That was something that we needed to invest in instead of figure out on our own, so we could do it in a month instead of a year or 2 or 3. Period.
All right, cool. That's it, you guys. I'm going to click end broadcast. Have a wonderful day. And thank you so much, Tyler, for showing up today. I love your energy. I love the fact that like we're catching up and you're just like so high energy now. Which makes me like, oh my gosh, it's such a difference from when I first started talking to you. It's
for sure.
It's hilarious, but I love it. I love it. And you will help so many people moving forward. And I'm glad that you're part of Ignite as we help you blow up even more.
That's right. Ignite could not be a more accurate word.
Great. Okay, so hey guys, for everyone here, I'm gonna click end broadcast. We're gonna leave and have a great day. Bye.